season for taking a chance on love, but we also want to make sure not to leave our financial safety up for grabs. In the world of dating apps, scammers are playing matchmaker with a twist, luring unsuspecting users into fraudulent investment schemes. But don't worry, our next guest is here to help us dodge these love bandits' financial mischief. Let's welcome Claire McHenry, president of the North American Securities Administrators Association. Hello, Claire.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on. So, Claire, can you explain to us what romance scams are and how they often work?
So a romance scam is when someone uses the promise of a romantic relationship in order to build trust. And then once they build that trust, they'll start to ask for money or for you to invest in something. It can start out with a small amount of money, but it can grow pretty big over time. And we know that this is a big problem. According to the Federal Trade Commission, consumers reported losses of $3.8 billion in investment-related scams in just 2022.
Oh, that's unfortunate to hear. And it's unfortunate to be in that situation. If you think you're really getting to know somebody and then they start asking for money and you have to question whether you're in this scenario or not. So can you share any facts that will help our viewers understand the magnitude of this problem?
So we do know that can happen to just about anyone. Anyone with access to a phone or an email address can become victim of this. It often starts out as a text message, a post on social media, or a message on a dating app. But while we know this can happen to anyone, we are seeing that older investors are particularly targeted.
And could you tell us again, who is most vulnerable to getting caught up in a bad romance scheme?
It's just about anyone. We're finding that people who are maybe isolated and feeling lonely can become particularly vulnerable to this type of scam.
Okay, so what are some of the subtle or not so subtle signs that a financial entanglement is taking place?
So we'll see that the red flags of a romance scam include being, you know, careful about how they want to meet you. They may not show you their face. They may not want to meet in person. They're often looking to not meet you in person. We'll also see that they are looking to brag about how wealthy and successful they are. They'll talk about how they manage their money and the investments that they're investing in. And they'll often say that they're low risk or guaranteed, but most investments carry risk. We also see that they may look to keep it secret. They don't want you to talk to anyone else. So they'll tell you not to talk to anyone and tell you that it's just for a limited number of people. And they'll use your fear of missing out. They want you to feel like you are part of the next big thing. But with some of these investment schemes, left out's the best place to be.
Okay, that's good to know. I wouldn't even think that they would talk about having a lot of money or investments, but I get how that can make people trust them a little bit more. It kind of makes me think of the Tinder swindler. So if someone's in this situation, how can people protect themselves?
They can protect themselves by learning about their investments, research what they're talking to you about, and ask a lot of questions. And if you don't understand the answers, it's okay to walk away. You should also just keep your guard up. When you're starting out a new romantic relationship, people should be interested in learning about you and not asking for money. And you can also reach out to your state securities regulator. You can find their contact information at nasa.org. That's NASAA.org, and we can give you more information.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, you had mentioned that they prey maybe on people who aren't talking to other people, so a good reason to touch in with that friend base or family base to say, hey, does this sound a little funky to you? Claire, what if the worst happens and someone wires money that they can't recover? They kind of realize they're in this scam situation. Do they have any recourse?
So one of the best ways to help yourself is to stop giving money. We'll often see that people continue to give money to a romance scam even when they find out that it's no longer a real relationship. But we also encourage you to reach out to your state securities regulator. We may not be able to help you directly, but we'll refer you to someone who can.
And can you tell us about NASAA and how your organization fights against these modern day love schemes?
So we're the North American Securities Administrators Association. We're an association of state, provincial, and securities regulators in Mexico as well. And we provide a lot of investor education materials, and we are also on the front lines and the cops on the beat when it comes to securities regulation.
All right. Well, we appreciate you and your organization for helping our viewers in these situations. Hopefully they don't get caught in a love scheme, but if they do or some type of scam, they know what to look out for now. Thank you so much. And you can get the latest from the North American Securities Administrators Association by going to NASAA.org.